We've all had this moment, right? You open the refrigerator, it's not empty. Like, there's produce in the drawer, there's leftovers from like 2 nights ago, there's eggs, there's cheese, and then maybe there's like even some like rotisserie chicken you have yet to use. You meant to use it, but you haven't yet. And yet, you're still standing there thinking, I have food. I just don't know what to make. So today we're going to explore why that moment feels so overwhelming and why it's so far less to do with actually what's in their fridge than you may think. So welcome to the Soulful Kitchen table. Pull up a chair, get comfortable, and let's dive into this together. Because so many of us have learned that good cooks simply know what to make. They don't hesitate, they don't second guess themselves, they're effortlessly creating meals from whatever they have. So when we freeze, we assume we're missing something. Whether it's like a recipe, more creativity, more discipline, a better meal plan, which is unfortunate because we've inherited the belief that confidence comes from having the right answer before we even begin. So when we believe that story, opening up the refrigerator becomes another decision to get right. We spend 20 minutes scrolling for recipes instead of noticing what we already have, right? We buy groceries we don't use, we waste food, dinner becomes mentally exhausting before we even started cooking. Been there. Over time, we stop trusting ourselves and our internal guidance, our intuition, and we start trusting instructions instead, or like a professional or someone outside of us, right? So I offer you to look at it from a different lens, right? What if freezing isn't evidence that you're bad at cooking or that you're feeling? What if it means it just indicates that you're looking for an answer outside of yourself before you looking inside your own kitchen, inside your own self? Maybe the goal isn't finding the perfect meal. Maybe it's learning to notice possibilities before problems. Remember, a refrigerator isn't a test, okay? It's an invitation. So before searching for a recipe, I invite you to choose 3 ingredients you already have in your refrigerator. Ask yourself, get curious, right? What could these become? And resist solving the whole meal immediately. And maybe you do, and that's part of like the intuitive flow, right? That's what happens naturally when you learn to trust yourself. So practice one small decision before looking outside of you for answers. The exercise isn't about making an amazing dinner, all right? You're not cooking a Michelin star dinner, right? It's about rebuilding your relationship with decision making, with your own internal decision making guidance. Help yourself shift this by asking yourself a couple of questions. Like, when you open the refrigerator, what do you notice first? What story usually begins playing in your mind, right? What would change if dinner didn't have to be figured out all at once? How would you feel? So the next time you open up your refrigerator, I invite you to pause for a few seconds before reaching for your phone. Simply notice what you already have, right? Not to plan, not to judge, just to observe. Curiosity often begins with paying attention. So thank you for spending a little time here at the Soulful Kitchen table today. I want to remind you that every conversation that we have here is simply an invitation, right? Not to do more, gross, but to notice more, to become aware. So if something resonated with you today, I'd love for you to share it in the comments. And until we gather around at the table again, may you meet yourself with curiosity, permission, and trust.